What's up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. We have day 3, the Sunday recap for the CSA Chantilly show. Going to just go over a few thoughts, run down like my thoughts and feelings on the show. Maybe share some, I don't know, interesting tidbits on like things I heard over the weekend or whatever regarding the hobby. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to give shout outs. Shout out to everybody that's watched day 1 and day 2. Really appreciate all of you. The comments, the questions, hopefully we answered them all to the best of your needs. Shout out to Joe and Cynthia with CSA. They gave me a press/media pass for the weekend. Allowed me to get some of the footage I got for you guys and everything. So shout out to them. They put on a great show. They always have a really strong autograph guest list. They always, it's a great show. If you've never been to Chantilly, it's a great show. Whether you like memorabilia, whether you want autographs, whether you like sports cards, there's a good bit of non-sports. It's a great show. I cannot say enough about CSA and Chantilly. If there was one thing that they could improve, actually, we're going to go 2 things. Just if in case they watch this. 2 things, 2 suggestions if they could improve. 1, the loudspeaker for the autographs. If that could somehow be contained more to the autograph area. Now, I know they need to announce it so people can hear it out on the floor, but it gets very difficult to like film and talk to dealers out on the floor when the intercom is constantly going. You can't hear. It's so loud. You can't hear the folks. Like, I wanted to talk to some dealers and stuff and get their input and put that all together, but I just kept getting interrupted. It was too loud. So that's 1. And number 2, and this is just one that I know isn't going to happen, but the concrete floors, man, they are brutal after 3 days walking and everything. If there was a way to get more rugs in there, which I know that this is just a funny one, but anyway, the floors can be brutal. They're a big enemy. But overall, great show. I love having it in my backyard, being so close and getting to go experience the show, 3 times a year when it comes around. Now, let's talk to the hobby in general, attendance and dealers, pricing, etc. Attendance was good. It was actually, it was a little less than the previous show, but I talked to some folks and we discussed it. The June show was right before leading into the National. So that could have been why it was so much stronger. This show still had good attendance. This was better than pre-pandemic attendance, I would say. So the attendance is still up. Now, again, the autograph lineup was great. Even today, the attendance was strong. But you had Cal Ripken, Mike Tyson, Dr. J, William Shatner. You had some big name people signing today too. So a strong autograph list helps bring attendance to the show. So attendance was still strong. Buying cards, I will say, this was the least amount of money I've ever spent at the Chantilly show. It was, now, granted, I will admit, I went in and I stayed focused on what I was wanting, but I also stuck to my grounds that I wasn't going to overpay for stuff just because it was there in front of me. So there was 2 sides to the coin. 1, I stayed focused on the players I wanted, but 2, I'll reiterate this again. Dealers need to work on how they're pricing cards. I actually had a dealer admit to me that he looked at my price list and he told me he couldn't meet me at some of the prices, even though I was showing him recent sales. He said he couldn't do it because of what he paid or what he had into the card. I think this is happening a lot. I heard other people say the same thing. I heard other people or other dealers tell people listening to deals the same thing. I witnessed a couple deals that finally panned out, but there was one deal that had to drop $1,300 off of what the dealer had it stickered at to be completed. And the guy that was buying actually wanted to be at about 400 less than that, but he did work on things. He really wanted the cards, and so he wound up buying them, but he bought them 1,300 lower than what they were actually stickered, and still probably overpaid. That's how far off some of this stuff was. The guy that had the 7 Griffies I wanted to get, that he had asked for 500 for, I priced them out at around 300. I went today, showed him the price list. He's the one that admitted to me he was just into this stuff too much. I offered him 320. He still wasn't willing to budge on it, and so I had to just walk away. I want the dealers to understand, if any dealers out there, watch this, buyers are not going to pay for your mistakes. Buyers are not going to pay old pricing. Buyers are not going to pay because you paid too much. Dealers do not give what they paid for something if a card goes up. If you bought a card for 100 and it goes to 1,000, what are you going to price it at? You're probably going to price it at 1,200. No, people are going to wiggle you down to 1,000. You might go to 900 to feel like you're giving the buyer a steal when really you're profiting still $800. If you're not willing to sell it at 100 because that's what you paid for it, then don't expect to sell a card for 800 if it's only worth 100 because you paid 800 for it. That's not the way that things work, right? You can tell the difference. I will say, I spoke to some dealers. They said they did very well. Those dealers are guys that I know for a fact are seasoned veterans. They've done this for a while. They understand market fluctuations and prices. They're not underwater on cards. They do this basically as a living, and they've done this for a long time. Those guys said they had great shows. I spoke to one guy. He's the one that I did the Star Wars Galaxy. Talked to him today. Said, how was your show? He said, wonderful. I said, it doesn't surprise me. You don't sit there and battle back and forth and try to squeeze every cent out of cards. You were throwing me prices out there, and the prices were great. I was like, so it's no surprise you had a great show. And he's like, yeah, I don't come here to run a museum. He has a point. He was there to sell cards, and he was selling cards. So I think there was some folks that did very well, and then I'm pretty sure there was others that, if they did well, it's because they had buyers that overpaid on stuff. And I'm pretty sure there's probably some that didn't do well at all. That's kind of the where we are in the space right now. I also heard something that I've never heard at shows previously. If dealers were buying, which, by the way, I did not sell a single card this weekend. I did not bring much with me either. Reason being is, in my mind, I knew if dealers were overpricing what they were trying to sell, they were going to try to buy at way under price. They're going to try to get deals to make up for their losses, and the ones that are overpriced are underwater. So I only brought a few things. I was more looking. There was a guy there that I have some hockey I'm looking to sell. was a guy there that he's bought from me before. He's a hockey, he's into hockey. I thought maybe he would want them. He almost bought all of it off of me, but he was a little, he said he wasn't comfortable spending that much money. The other 2 cards I brought that weren't hockey, I brought those more so as trade bait and didn't really worry about selling them. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot that even caught my eye to even break them out the box to even offer them up for trade. So, but one thing I've never heard is dealers, when they're buying, say they're looking for whatnot inventory. That was a conversation of topic this weekend. Buyers looking for inventory for whatnot, but they were paying, X amount of comps, like 70% comps, whatever. They were looking for inventory for repacks for whatnot. That's something that I've not heard discussed ever really at cards. I mean, I've seen it in other vlogs where people were there at shows to buy, but this was dealers looking to buy for whatnot inventory. That has me questioning, is some of these show prices because they feel they can get more on whatnot, and are they trying to squeeze that then out of show pricing? So that's something to keep an eye on, but definitely something that I caught, I was hearing. If you go to these shows, even if you're not buying anything, go around the tables when you're looking through stuff. Listen to the conversations that are going on. You'll hear a lot of interesting things that'll tell you a lot of telltale signs of what's going on. You don't even have to be involved in the conversation. You can just listen and learn a lot. So, but overall, I'll share some pickups and stuff later on. I bought 2 cards today, but this was the least amount I've ever purchased from the CSA Chantilly show in a weekend. So, but I hope you all had a wonderful weekend yourselves. Again, thank you to everybody if you've caught day 1 and day 2 recaps. Hope you enjoyed day 3. I'll be rolling some clips along, showing you some footage from the floor, the attendance, and then some of the autograph signers at the end as well. Also, before I forget, everybody I met or talked to this weekend, thank you. Really, really enjoyed that. That was a great part of the show for me. Big Scott, seeing him. James, seeing him. And I'm probably going to forget people. I shouldn't even be making a list, but let's see. Chris Sewell, baseball collector, investor, dealer, he was there. Mike, baseball collector, was there today. Ziggy was there today. Andrew from Luka Tiger's Bronze was there today. Let's see. I've mentioned a bunch of people in the other videos, so if I don't mention your name today, no hard feelings, and I probably mentioned you in one of the others. But yeah, again, I'll throw some pictures up if I took photos with you guys. I'm bad about the whole selfie thing, so again, don't be offended if I didn't take a selfie with you. But I hope you have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Hope your football teams all win, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video, I'm out. Hope you enjoy.
going? Andy Friedman here, Sunday Friedman, Instagram. Artist behind Spotlight 70. The last call for Jonathan Ogden, by the way. We've done 2 collaborative sets with Topps where I paint shoebox card collections, I guess I call it.